Say what's cracking, YouTube. It's your boy 16 to life, and I'm back like I'm on a parole violation. You're down. Now, for those of y'all that's new to my page, in 1994, I got arrested. I was eventually sentenced to 16 years plus life, and I ended up doing 24 years straight in the California prison system. During that time, I accumulated some good stories and some good insight, and I'm going to share a little bit with y'all today. In the event you happen to like this story, then definitely be sure to hit the like button, leave a comment. And if you haven't yet subscribed to my channel, hit that notification bell. That way, anytime I drop a story, you will be notified ASAP and you can check it out whenever you're ready. Also, if y'all don't mind, be sure to watch some of those commercials. Probably at least, if you can, at least 30 seconds, I think, somewhere around there, because that's how we get paid, and definitely can bring y'all some more good content. Now, let's hop into it. Now, this right here, I'm going to just talk about a little bit about the things that I believe I've done that was helpful in helping me survive prison. You know, sometimes when I tell people that I've done 24 years straight, a lot of them are interested and curious as to how I survived. You know, a lot of them will say, oh, well, man, you're not really a big dude. You know, how did you survive up in there? And a lot of people think that it has a lot to do with size. But, you know, it's a lot of things other than size that's actually extremely way more important than a person's size, you know, because I didn't see some extremely little guys survive and have no problems whatsoever. So it's more of, you know, what you do and what you don't do. So I think, though, also the thing that was most important in helping me survive, I definitely believe that God had his hand over me, you know, because I done seen a lot of individuals who done way more time than I did, or about the equal amount of time that I did, or even less time than I did, go through more harsher experiences in terms of violence and just the nature of situations they was involved in. And so I definitely believe, like I say, God watched out for me. When I left the county jail after I was sentenced to my time, they send you to what's called a reception center. A reception center is a prison that's going to determine the level of custody you'll need according to the time that you have, and things of that nature. You know, so I was they found that I needed the highest level, the highest custody level possible, which was a level 4 180. But now, right before I went in and got, you know, assessed and all that, you know, you have to go see your counselor. Some guys who came from the same county as I came from, they went in there and they were sent to a prison by the name of New Folsom. I was sent to a prison by the name of Salinas Valley. Now, the guys before me that got to New Folsom, they may have been up there 4 or 5 months and ended up getting into a real violent riot with the Sureños. And so, like I say, you know, I could have easily got sent up there. And so, like I say, I just believe that God always played a hand in watching over me. Also, you know, I'm going to tell you guys about my first mistake in prison, my first and only mistake. So I had been in prison, probably I was at Salinas, maybe, I don't know, 5 or 6 months. My brother happened to send me a Playboy magazine. It was called Women of Color. You know, it had, black women in there, Hispanics, Asians, or whatever. Now, there happened to be a blood who saw me get the magazine. He saw it when it was passed out to me, or whatever. I forget. I forget his name too. But anyway, older dude. And so he come to my cell or saw me outside or whatever. He said, hey, man, let me check that magazine out. And I got a magazine that you can check out. We had trade. I said, OK, cool. So he happened to be in the building that I was in, but he wasn't in the same section. You know, the building that I was in was broken down into sections. And so he happened to be in the next section. There was like a little door there. The guards could buzz him through the door or whatever. So anyway, he brought the magazine over there. And so we traded magazines. Now, I happen to have a homeboy up in there, a partner, man. He wasn't from my hood, but his name was Casper. He was from Pomona. We used to play basketball and shit. He was from Pomona, Neckland. We used to play basketball and chill and shit. So he happened to see us make the trade or whatever. So he came up to my cell. He said, hey, chill, when you get a chance, man, let me check that magazine out. Now, I knew that since this wasn't my magazine, the protocol would have been, hey, I should have told him, no, man, you know, this ain't mine. And I think I did mention something like that to him. And he's like, oh, I just want to check it out real quick or whatever. And so I should have just told him, hey, no, man, you know what? I'll ask him when he come back to get it or whatever, or you ask him. So anyway, I end up letting him see the magazine. Now, because I'm thinking that I'm gonna have the magazine 2-3 days or something like that. So now I don't know if it was the next day or that same day later on that day. But the dude who loaned me his magazine, we traded. He sent his homeboy back over there with my magazine. He didn't like the magazine. You know, the Playboy, they got them skinny girls in it or whatever. So he wanted his book back. And so I didn't have the book. So now the thing that saved me is, back in those days, a person wouldn't come straight to your cell window. He'd come to the side crack of the door. So he was speaking through the side door. And he said, hey, the homie want his magazine back. And I said, okay, give me a minute. I'm on the toilet. And so I said, once I finish using the bathroom, I'll hop up and I'll give it to you. And the reason people would come through the side was for that particular reason. You might be in there using the bathroom, or you might be in there doing something that they didn't want to see you doing. And so, so when he left and went back to his section, I called down to Cass. Cass happened to be a porter, which is basically like a janitor in the building. So he was outside cleaning the floor, wiping the tables, or whatever he was doing. So I got at him. I said, hey, man, dude came back. He want his magazine back. I need you to go get that. So he ran up to his cell, got the book back, and brought me the magazine. And so I ended up getting it back down to the dude. So now I believe the next day, the blood dude, he came and he approached me on the yard. He was like, hey, chill, let me holler at you for a minute. I'm like, hey, what's up? He said, you didn't let nobody use my magazine, did you? I said, no, and I hated that I had to lie because it made me feel small, for one. And I don't like lying, but I'm saying I couldn't necessarily tell him that, yeah, I lent your magazine to somebody else, because I was in direct violation. So he said, oh, okay, all right. And he just went on. I don't think he believed me, but he kind of took me for my word or whatever. Now, that right there could have got me in some serious shit, because I didn't see, and like I say, I was new to the pen. But then later on, I'd seen this happen many times. I'd seen a dude go borrow a magazine from somebody else, and the dude who borrows the magazine tears 3-4 pages out. He might see some girls in there he like, and he want to keep them. So now, like I say, I didn't really know Cass really that good. Luckily for me, Cass was a stand-up dude and hadn't done that. But like I say, I was in the wrong for even loaning the magazine out. But now, say Cass had to tore some couple pictures up out of here. Now, I done already told this dude I didn't loan the magazine to nobody. So now he got some pages missing. Then obviously, of course, then I'm the one that stole them. You know what I'm saying? Because once he brought the magazine back, I didn't even have a chance, or didn't even think to look through it and check. You know what I'm saying? And so that situation right there could have got me in a whole lot of trouble. So one of the things that I think is big on is just learning and knowing the rules and regulations of whatever particular prison that you in, and sticking to them and abiding by them by all costs. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you have to ask questions. Sometimes you have to be aware. Sometimes you have to learn from others, and I extremely believe in just being observant, paying attention to your surroundings, not talking too much, because a lot of guys come into prison, they trying to talk and impress people and be tough. You have to sit back and just observe, ask questions, and learn, because each particular prison in each state, has their own different rules and regulations that may apply to that prison. Then they may different rules and regulations may apply depending on who you hang with, who you run with, what race, what gang. And so it's extremely important to learn all that and stick to that type of stuff, because it creates less of a problem for yourself. I'm gonna tell y'all about another story that made me shy away from gambling, because gambling is always potentially problematic, because for one reason, while none of us like to lose, some people hate to lose and they don't want to lose their money. But if you have agreed to gambling and you lose, then you got to give your money up. But okay, so listen, here's a situation right here. It was two Crips. One was from Orange County and one was from Long Beach. And so I'm outside on the yard chilling. I'm at Salinas chilling, and these dudes are gambling, playing handball. So I'm watching these dudes, because I had never really played handball before, you know what I'm saying? So I'm just watching them play. And so they both talking shit, you know what I'm saying? They both thinking they fit to beat the other one. But now the dude from Orange County, he ended up beating all the games. He was whooping the dude from Long Beach, you know what I'm saying? And so they announced yard recall, which was time for us to go in. So now the dude from Orange County, he's up, probably, I don't know, $70, $80. I don't remember how much it was, but it was a lot of money. So he asked the dude, he say, tell the dude from Long Beach, he like, what's up, man? Can I get my money? The dude from Long Beach just, bing, 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 just get off on him, knocked him down, just like that. It wasn't no argument or nothing, just knocked him down and told him, nigga, I don't pay no suckers, nigga, fuck you. And so the dude from Orange County, like, he dazed, like I say, because he just got off on him and fired his shit up out the blue. They didn't have no words or whatever. And so he got up, he like, hey, yeah, okay. Let's go in the cell. They was in the same building. So they happened to go in the cell. The dude from Long Beach beat him up again, and didn't pay him. But so I realized from that situation that the dude from Long Beach had already looked at this dude and saw him as a sucker in his mind. And the dude from Long Beach was definitely with the business. They both was young. He was with the shit, and he already had it in his mind. He had a victim. Now, of course, he was hoping to go out there and beat him playing handball and just win all this stuff. But his ace in the hole was, I guess, in his mind that even if this dude beat me, I'm not giving him shit. This dude is a weenie and I'm not paying him, And I don't know if that was because the dude from Orange County didn't have a lot of he didn't have any homeboys on the yard, and the dude from Long Beach did, or just maybe the dude from Long Beach felt that his cripping was just too hard and he wouldn't fit to pay this dude. But by me seeing that, I learned early that, gambling wasn't a good thing, man. And, from time to time I would involve in gambling, but not much. And like I said, I keep telling y'all, I'm going to give y'all this story and I'm going to hit y'all with it real soon, where I end up having to stab somebody and it was behind gambling. You know what I'm saying? Something that I normally never did. So, another thing, a dude left a comment in my section one time telling me that, he said he had never been to jail. But in the event that he did have to go, he was just going to walk into the tank and punch the biggest dude that he's seen right in the face and start fighting. I told him, listen, man, you've been watching too many motherfucking Jerry Seinfeld sitcoms, doing some goofy shit like that. Fuck around and get the brakes beat off your motherfucking ass. Don't never do no shit like that. Just go there, be yourself. You know what I'm saying? Be yourself. Sit back, be cool. Don't talk too much trying to impress people, because, sometimes you have a lot of these big dudes who can't fight. And a lot of dudes will say that too, man. They say that, well, damn, man, how did you survive in prison? You a little dude, And like I say, big don't spell bad. You know what I'm saying? So if you get the chance, write out big and write out bad, you'll see they spell differently. So just because you big don't make you bad. A lot of big dudes have been buffaloing dudes all their life through their size, and so they never had a lot of experience in fighting. And then when someone would test them, you come to find out this dude couldn't fight his way out of a wet paper bag. But from time to time, you will run across a big dude that can fight, and he'll beat the motherfucking brakes off your ass. So like I say, trying to go pick a fight with a big dude to try to, I guess, assert your dominance is a hell of a stupid idea. So like I say, dude probably only got that from some type of sitcom. So just go in there and, be respectful, and you'll be all right for the most part. Now prison is a place where, a lot of spontaneous violence breaks out, and from time to time a person is gonna want to test you. So you definitely have to be willing to defend yourself, and if a person comes messing with you and you ain't doing nothing, of course, then you fight hard, but just being aware and stuff like that. And then also another thing, like I say, is being respectful. A lot of people think that, when they hear about all these violent and horrible individuals that's sent to prison, you would be surprised with how much respect goes on in prison. And I guess it's a lot of it has to do with, excuse me, due to the fact that you do have so many violent people around, that knowing that one of these persons can, try to kill you at any moment, that it's a lot of respect. You'll definitely hear the word "excuse me" in prison in a day more than you'll probably hear it in the free world in probably a whole month or two. It's always "excuse me," coming here behind you, saying "excuse me, homie, let me get past you, thank you." You hear a lot of that. Dudes are respectful, and that's a big problem, that a lot of violence happens in prison when a person feels disrespected. You know what I'm saying? Like I say, we get phone calls. The phone calls are 15 minutes, and so some people wanna stay on the phone a little longer than their 15 minutes. Like, okay, so we sign up for phone calls. You have to sign up most of the times the day before. So say a dude signs up for a 10 o'clock slot. And so he goes and gets on the phone. He gets on the phone at 10 o'clock, and he calls 2 or 3 numbers, and whoever he's trying to get a hold of don't pick up the phone till 10:06. The phone is going to run and cut off in 15 minutes automatically. So the next person who signed up for the slot at 10:15, he may come up and say, hey man, it's my phone time. Now you got the dude on the phone who said, hey man, my 15 minutes ain't ran out. Well, you have to be level-headed enough to know, and logical enough to know that you didn't get through until 3 or 4 minutes after. So that's not the dude who's standing behind you. That's not his fault that your people didn't answer the phone. And so just stuff like that, man, having common sense, being respectful. Okay, listen, man, your time is up. Get off the phone, because of course, if you cut into his time, then he's cutting into the next person's time after him. So it's just stuff like that, man, and also being aware of the element of danger, because like I say, regardless of what prison that you're at, it's always going to be danger. You know what I'm saying? I'll tell y'all a quick story about an individual who I went to the prison with. We was at Salinas Valley, level 4, 180, like I say, one of the most deadliest prisons in California at that time. Now, here was an individual who had life without parole. He was probably about 21, 22 years old, dude by the name of Scott, black dude. And later on, actually, me and this guy happened to be cellies for a while. But anyway, one day I happened to see him on the yard, or matter of fact, I think it may have been after we were cellies. But anyway, I see him on the yard walking around in his shower shoes and with his Bible, and the shower shoes, nobody wore their shower shoes nowhere except but in the shower. Even going to the shower, you would have your boots or your tennis shoes. Reason being is because in the event something broke out, you could slip in those shower shoes. Plus, they didn't give your feet no stability. So anyway, this dude is walking around, with his head in his Bible on one of the most dangerous yards in California at the time, not paying attention. He got his Bible, he's walking. So I say, hey Scott, man, you need to pay attention to what's going on. And Scott told me that he was all right because God was protecting him. And like I said earlier at the start of this story, I definitely believe that God watched over me and protected me. But I also believe that God gives us enough sense to protect our own selves, because in the event a riot happened to break out with the Sureños, they definitely wasn't going to be caring that this dude was a Bible carrier and that he possibly could quote the Bible like Billy Graham or T.D. Jakes or something like that. They was supposed to hop on this helmito, no questions asked, you know what I'm saying, and blast the shit up out of him. So, like I say, a person had to be, you had to have common sense, man, and not let, ignorant thinking put your ass in a bind, basically. You know what I'm saying? So also too, one thing is definitely important to understand and know the rules and the regulations of the prison, of the race of the particular group or gang that you run with, because those may differ from time to time. And another thing that's extremely important is to mind your business. You got to mind your business. Like I told you guys in the one story where I happened to go into the bathroom, 2 white dudes come in here and go to fighting. One white dude is choking another dude out. Now, due to how California is segregated and separated by race, was it my business to try to get this one dude off this other white guy? Because like I say, for one, I don't know what they was doing. I don't know why they was fighting. So, that even though a lot of people, left some comments saying that, as a human, I could have stopped the one guy, from choking the other dude. But like I say, in the event I definitely would have done that, that definitely would have fell back on me, because here's a black dude getting into these white guys' business. I don't know if they happen to be some regular white guys. They could have been some Aryan Brotherhood. Who knows who the hell they was? And me sticking my nose in their business definitely would have came back and been extremely negative for me. So, always mind your business. If it don't pertain to you, keep quiet. Another instance I'm gonna tell you guys about. I happen to be in Ironwood. We out there, it's a basketball game going on with the blacks. 2 Crips happen to get into a fight. Now you got a Crip from Long Beach, you got a Crip from LA. The Crip from Long Beach happened to be a little drunk, and the Crip from LA definitely got the best of him. Now, while Like I say, this is outside on the basketball court. The Crip from Long Beach got his homeboys around. The Crip from LA got his homeboys around. And so while it turned out to be a one-on-one fight, the potential of it being more than that was definitely there. The police seen these guys fighting. They run over there. They break it up. You know what I'm saying? And so they got the dudes from the yard. They handcuffed them. Now, I got a particular homeboy who was from IE, the car that I ran with. He's laughing and giggling like, damn, did you see that shit? He put hands on that motherfucker. I told him, hey, man, shut the fuck up. You know what I'm saying? That wasn't his business to say that right there because, of course, the dude from Long Beach, he had homies right there. And they may have been, emotional about seeing one of their homeboys get beat up, especially by feeling that he wouldn't have got beat up if he hadn't have been drunk. So, that could have potentially turned into a situation now we're into it with those guys because they upset and they frustrated and they want to take their frustrations out on somebody. So it's just having the common sense like that, man, of knowing that sometimes you got to shut the fuck up. Everything is not to be laughing and giggling and joking about, And another thing, by California being so I guess I would say just so full of gangs in prison, I've seen this happen several times, man, where you may have a dude outside talking to one of his homies about some shit that happened on the street or maybe even in another prison. And he uses a disrespectful term when talking about another gang, not knowing that there's somebody from that gang that he's talking about and disrespecting sitting a few feet away and they overhear it. And that turns into a problem. You know what I'm saying? So, you got to have common sense, man. You got to have common sense and you got to use it, and it's things like that will keep a person out of trouble, because I definitely believe that maybe 60 to even 70% of the trouble that a person will experience is because it's self-induced. It's shit that he brought on himself, and he could have avoided if he just had a little more common sense, And another thing I definitely believe in is just staying the same. You have some dudes, man, who they might act one way, because they only got 3 or 4 homies on the yard. Maybe about 6-7 months later, now their numbers in swelled. And now they got about 25 homies on the yard. So now they're more tougher. They're more aggressive, because they feeling they got homies to back they play. And so it's always best, man, to stay the same whether you got 3 homies on the yard or 33. You know what I'm saying? Because at point in time, how you carry yourself is going to reflect on your car sometimes, And if you go out there and you getting some bullshit, then the people you hang with are going to come out there to your aid. And especially sometimes you may be in the wrong, but the people that's supporting you, they're willing to put their program on the line. They got visits and stuff they want to go to. They got things they want to, do. You got some dudes in there taking college courses and stuff like that. And of course, when you go to the hole, all that stuff all that stuff ends. You're saying you can't get visits when you in the hole. Unless they're behind the glass. Some people's family are coming from 3-4 hours away. Who wants to drive that far to visit with somebody behind the glass when you can be sitting in the room with them, being able to hug them, talk to them face to face and stuff like that. So, it's always good when a person who's running with your collective, when you see a dude doing things that's out of line and out of pocket or whatever, a lot of individuals don't have the heart to speak up and tell their homeboy that you're doing wrong, you're being wrong. A lot of dudes have the attitude where they gonna ride with their homeboy regardless, not realizing that if you would take the time to talk to him and check him, a lot of bullshit could be prevented. So, those are just some of the things that I done, that helped me stay out of trouble. And I definitely believe in just keeping your word, regardless of how small it may be. If I told a person something, I was going to do it. If I told a person I was going to come outside at 1:30 and just show him some of my pictures, because a lot of times you got homies that you grew up with or whatever that you run across. They want to see your pictures or whatever. If I told a dude I'm gonna bring him a suit or whatever, I'm gonna give him a stamp. You don't have to do none of this stuff, but just always, keeping your word, because you fail to realize that having good character in prison goes a long way. There are certain individuals who I haven't seen maybe in 5 or 6 years, but I've done a lot of time with. I could happen to hear today that, the dude who I've been knowing has done such and such on another yard. Now, by the way he carried himself when I was with him, I say, no, man, it's got to be more to the story, because that wasn't the way he done time. That wasn't the type of individual that he was. And so other people notice these things about you, even individuals who you may not like you or whatever, or you don't hang with every day, but they always watching, you know what I'm saying? And so sometimes maybe one of those individuals may go to bat for you and say, hey, man, listen, man, I've been watching that dude, or I know that dude, and he ain't that type of individual. And that dude may have some juice that could definitely or possibly prevent a certain situation, man. So those are some of the things that I've done in prison, man, just to that helped me survive. Like I say, you have some individuals who they problematic and they want to walk around and they got a certain type of aura about them. They want to be seen as the tough guy. And, so of course, when you one of those type of individuals, then it's going to definitely bring more problems your way. Because like I say, a lot of people equate that you have to be big and bad to survive in prison. And that's not always the case. A lot of times it's how you carry yourself that will determine, how much how much bullshit you in or how much bullshit that you're not in. You know what I'm saying? And so, like I say, you definitely gotta fight and defend yourself. You know what I'm saying? When problems come your way, because no matter how cool and friendly you are, unfortunately, prison is a place from time to time that people prey on other people. And you're gonna get tested from time to time, But as long as you fight hard, you're willing to defend yourself, especially if you're willing to use extreme violence. Nobody wants to get injured at the end of the day, and most people are gonna leave you alone, man. But like I say, those are some of the things that I've done, that helped me do time in a manner to where I didn't have much problem as another person would be, as another person would. So just always just be yourself, just be yourself. Don't go in there looking for trouble. Don't try to be tough. And 9 times out of 10, you're going to be all right. But anyway, you already know, man, it's your boy 16 to life. I hope y'all like that little, that little rundown on how to do time and stay safe. And you already know what it is. Resume normal program.